Though formerly abandoned with the rise of the Camarilla, some clans still consider themselves high compared to their peers among the low clans. You are a vampire of a high clan, convincing you that you have certain rights to bully and order those of low clans. These rights can only be pushed so far, of course. Historically, the high clans were Lasombra, Toreador, Tzimisce, and Ventrue, though Brujah and some of the clan of Death clung to the epithet. In various parts of the world, the members of the high clans changed to include the Banu Haqim, the Ministry, and rarely the Tremere. As a high clan vampire, your clan bane is, to your mind, less a curse than a blessing. Greetings, kindred. I am Voivode Maquette, and welcome back to our world of darkness. And tonight, we're going after the lore for high clans. The Loresheet found in Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition core book. This is a interesting socio-dominate kind of situation here. We're going to be going over the various advantages you can get for being, or at least considering yourself to being a member of the high clans. Personally, in my games, the way that I like to run high clan, low clan, is dependent on what sect you're running. Where, yes, we have those historicals, high clans, that are listed in the description for this. I would say that if you are a member of the Camarilla, the clans that you would consider high clan are those who have Justicars. If you are playing an Anarch game, then I'd say that the high clans might be the Brujah, the Gangrel, and the Ministry, because they're the ones who are in charge of the organization. Now, obviously, that is my opinion on things, and it doesn't really fit with how some other people might run their games. But let's go ahead and hop in and see what advantages you get for taking the high clan lore sheet. Investing 1 dot into this lore sheet gets you Peacock. You are proud of your clan's status as high, and you carry yourself with all the pomp and circumstance befitting a vampire of noble station. Once per session, you may re-roll a single die when attempting to command deference from one non-titled vampire in your domain. So, Peacock basically allows you to find a vampire that does not hold station in your city and re-roll a die when trying to have a level of command over that individual. This will push you up when you're just 1 die too low in a social challenge or something like that. This could come in handy. And the fact that it can happen once per session, basically, it mirrors the fact that this is kind of a weak thing, but it is the first level. This is something that will definitely help you in situations, but it's not game-changing. Investing 2 dots into this lore sheet gets you Sway the Low. The high clans once sat upon thrones, ordering low clan vampires to die for them on battlefields and subjugate themselves in court. You still possess the ability to persuade vampires of low clans more easily than you do the vampires of the high clans. You have bullied the equivalent of 3 dots of mala into a loyal, abused retinue of low clan vampires. You gain 3 extra dice to pools using intimidation or leadership against those kindred. If you ever roll a total failure on such a test or contest, you need to compensate them, or they turn on you. This one's very fun for me. Not only do you get 3 points in Mala and the ability to add points to dice rolls, but there is always that repercussion. You can embarrass yourself in front of them, proving that you are not the most important thing in the world. The fact that you then have to pay them off to get them back on your side is just greatly amusing to me. I also like the concept of you bully your way into a Mala. You have found somebody who can teach you things, but your social standing above them is so great that you can actually intimidate your way into lessons. That's just a lot of fun. Investing 3 dots into this lore sheet gets you elevate the low. Some quirk of your bloodline, or an ancient princely decree, allows you to proclaim the ancestry of one low clan in your city to high clan status. You can do this once per chronicle, but of course, you can promise to do it eventually, for quite a while first. Until then, add 1 die to social tests against low clan kindred when you allude to this possibility. No one wants to be the bottom rung. Nobody wants to be stuck at the bottom. And if you, for some reason, have the ability to rise an entire clan out of a gutter, most people of those clans are just going to hop on. The fact that you can now add die to a pool when talking to those individuals because they think there might be hope of improving their own station as well as the station of those in their clan. This right here has the great opportunity to be fun and also lead you down a rabbit hole of pain, because you can only utilize this ability 1 time. So the rest of the time you're just kind of dangling the carrot to get them to go where you want them to go, do what you want them to do. It is a real, asshole move, but it could definitely come in handy if you are known for having the ability to do this. Investing 4 dots into this lore sheet gets you embraced to rule. Vampires of the high clans often opt to embrace mortals of noble birth or powerful ancestry. Your ancestors may not be kings and queens, but you were embraced to rule. Add 1 die to pools of leadership tests involving high clan vampires who know your lineage. Once per story, other vampires of the high clans defer to voting for you, or they allow you to take high responsibility and power, unless you have created a personal grievance between you. So other people know that you have a lineage of success of rulership, and therefore they believe that you, being part of that lineage, would be good at ruling. They will vote for you in these situations. They will stand up for you in the ability to be able to handle this. And having people who have your back in a game like Vampire is that's pretty intense, considering the fact that everybody's usually trying to get to the top of the hill. This right here shows that you might have, at least in your blood, the ability to surpass what other people's expectations are for themselves. You might be more useful to them in leadership than them attempting to take it for themselves. Investing 5 dots into this lore sheet gets you blessed, not cursed. Like many vampires of the high clans, you have convinced yourself that you bear no curse of Cain. Rather, your clan weakness is a blessing that reveals more to you about your nature, your position on God's earth, and the areas of life you must strengthen. Once per session, you may spend 1 willpower to ignore the burdens of your clan bane. Being able to ignore your bane just with the expenditure of a willpower is... It brings you into an area that typically only the caitiff get, which is not being really brought down by your ancestral blood. Toreador being able to go, I can be fine and utilize my disciplines in this horrid dive bar. Or the Ventrue realizing that they need to buckle down and feed when their typical herd are not around. This can be used in a lot of ways. I've actually spoken to the storytellers, or the writers for the LARP version of this book, where Blessed Not Cursed actually pops up in the High Clan lore sheet there, because as someone who plays Tzimisce, who took this lore sheet, I was wondering how exactly this could, be utilized in a Tzimisce, because their bane is about where they sleep. And in that same case, the Ravno, what happens with them if they, Ravno are universally looked at as a low clan, so I guess that's not really going to come up. But like as a Tzimisce, how could I utilize this in a game setting? And they told me straight out that if you're sleeping, that counts as a scene. So being able to sleep when not surrounded by your horde in a dire situation may end up being rather important. At that case, what you're looking at is how long can your willpower hold out? Is it better to basically retain some of that willpower just because this could happen in an event? But I can think of lots of reasons why various clans would need this. Perhaps if you look at a situation where the Hecata are considered high clan in their city, then maybe being able to bite on to someone without it causing the excruciating pain, the curse of the Lamia, that would be good under specific situations, definitely. So the High Clans lore sheet. I'm a huge fan of this one. I don't know if over the years of running Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition, I have realized that limiting how many lore sheets people can take is a thing. Because I used to allow people to take 3. I was like, you guys can take one that's related to lore, you guys can take one that's related to lineage, and you guys can take one that's sect, political, or something like that. And, this is something allowing players to come in, and depending on what clan they are, you get high clan or low clan for free, or something like that. It sounds like a great idea, but, I don't know. You do have to be careful with how many lore sheets people will take, because those do put so much detail in the game if the storyteller actually does utilize them for details of what the player wants. So I am Voivode Maquette, and this is Our World of Darkness. Thank you for joining me in this lore sheet review for High Clan, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Good evening.